Welcome to Whirlin' of String Designs. I'm Alicia. Today I have my finished September Solo Sock Club socks to show off, and we'll be revealing the October yarn and pattern. And I also have a special handspun to share. That's right, I've had my wheel out again. So let's start with the socks, shall we? So again, this was September's, and the yarn was Red Maple by Highland Handmaids, and the colorway was Slippery Slope, and these were vanilla socks. And I do on these ones, I have done a tubular cast on. I like to do mine cuff down, and I have a large instep, so I do quite a few. I actually have really scrawny heels and feet, but I have a large instep. So what I do is I actually do 60 stitches on my leg, and then normally sock math, a normal pattern would have you do 15 slip stitch rows on the heel. I do a heel flap and gusset, and I do actually 22 on mine, and that gives me a nice big instep. Another thing you could do if you didn't want to do quite such a large heel flap, you could do, instead of taking half the stitches for the heel flap, you could take slightly more than half, and that would give you some extra room in this heel area as well if you also have a large instep. And then I just do a grafted toe. So these are my finished socks. Hey, Editing Alicia here. It turns out that I actually lost a little more than I thought on that lost SD card mishap. So this video, as you could probably tell, seemed to end a little bit abruptly, and that's because I ran out of memory on my SD card and I swapped them out again to finish recording, and the finished recording is on the lost SD card. So I can't go back in time and re-reveal the yarn because I've already knitted up into socks, very similar to last time. However, I've put up a photo of the yarn in stash, so while it was still in the hank, and so you can kind of see what it looks like, and then we'll see the finished socks on the reveal. So this one was self-striping watermelon yarn, and this is by Artistic Yarn by Abby, and I think I've had it so long it was actually from her Etsy shop. This one's pretty deep stash, and these will be vanilla socks just so that we can make sure that none of that nice color and color transitions, none of those get lost. We really want, because and Abby does a wonderful job dyeing, I really want to make sure that we keep the gorgeous transitions that she has in this yarn so that they really pop in the finished sock. So these will be vanilla socks. I did promise to show some finished hand spun in that previous footage. So what I have is, this is from Purple Fleece, which is a store that has since closed. I was part of her Roving of the Month club, so I would get whatever base she was dyeing and whatever colors she was dyeing. It was very much a surprise, and this is from April 2014. The fiber content is 50% merino wool and 50% yak, and this came out so soft. So these are some photos of the fiber in the braids, and then now I have the photos of the finished yarn. So the way that I spun this up is I spun singles of each one, and this is a 2-ply, so I spun each braid, plied each braid together, 1 ply of each. So it ended up with this lovely barber pole type finished yarn. Because the barnwood had the variegated colors, and one of the colors in there was matching the Earth Day, you sort of got a lot of depth in the color in the finished yarn, because at some points it was very similar and would match up, and then in other parts, like with the purple tone next to the brown and the greenish brown, you ended up with a lot of contrast. So I'm really pleased with how this came out. This is so luxuriously soft. Not really sure what I'm going to make with it yet. You can kind of see on the smaller hank that it does look like there's a solid color, and what happened is after I applied it together, I just had some of that Earth Day color left over, so I applied it on itself for the remainder of that hank. So I do have one strip that is a solid color, and everything else is that lovely barber pole. And thinking ahead to how I might use this yarn. I'm sort of thinking that that solid area might make a good ribbing portion before going into a pattern. So for, like, say a hat or a cowl perhaps. So that's how that came out, and I'm super pleased with it. That's my hand spun. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will know when I post the video to show these gorgeous watermelon socks. Thanks. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next video.